A lone figure stands in a shadowy alley. You think he's about to give you a reason to turn away. Maybe he's right. But before you bail, know this. Everything you think about will be challenged. You will learn what drives people's behavior, and why even a legend like John Wick is still a man at the mercy of human nature. What you'll learn. The cinematic journey ahead blends Robert Greene's 18 laws of human nature with John Wick's world. By the end, you'll see how our irrational emotions, hidden narcissism, and even denial of death shape our fate, just as they shape John Wick's. We'll uncover why nearly 92% of young adults say a sense of purpose is critical to life, and why 75% of millennials seek meaning in life. Above all, you'll discover how to harness urgency and purpose in your own life, because time, as you'll see, is not on our side. If you feel restless, unfulfilled, or just plain tired of the same old routine, this is for you. Here's a breakdown of the law behind every action and reaction. Scene 1. The Void and the Secret Lesson. Night. A deserted city street glistens with rain under neon lights. John Wick stands alone, back against a brick wall, silence pressing in. In this moment, time feels like it could stop forever, but life won't wait. Life is short, and in that silent pulse of midnight, everything that matters becomes urgent. John's late wife taught him that each moment is precious. Her last message was always, "Come on, John, let's go home." That memory gave him meaning beyond the killing fields. But most of us run on autopilot, distracted by empty noise. We deny how precious life is, until something jolts us awake. Robert Greene calls this the law of death denial. Facing our mortality can fuel purpose. John learned it the hard way after losing his wife and his beloved dog. Daisy, more than a pet, was hope delivered. A reminder that even in despair, life could matter. When he lost her, the world ripped apart, and John Wick came roaring back. I'm thinking I'm back to finish what was started. Stay with John as we peel back his silence. We'll return to why a killed puppy became a catalyst for purpose and what it teaches you. But first, understand this. Without purpose, even the best life fades into gray. Think of America today. Millennials and Gen Z tell us that finding meaning isn't optional. This cinematic journey will show why and how to reclaim it. Scene 2. The law of irrationality. Rage versus reason. Lights flash as John bursts into action. When Vigo's son breaks into his house, something primal snaps. John's mind doesn't calculate. It burns with fury and loss. This is the law of irrationality in action. Greene explains that we assume we're rational, but we're driven by emotion. We react before we think. John's response to Daisy's death wasn't strategic. It was pure emotional vengeance. Like John, most of us hide behind excuses. I'm logical, even as jealousies, fears, and angers steer us. Greene says, begin by recognizing biases, confirmation, blame, etc., and inflaming factors. Stress, childhood wounds, sudden loss. Only then can we pause and choose our action. For John, that moment came after the carnage. He steps back in the Continental's lobby, breathing heavily. His opponent is down, and John simply waits. He has mastered reaction time. He's grown the power to step back and ask, is this worth it? As John teeters on the edge of his rage-fueled mission. In a moment, you'll see how he uses his rational mind, unlikely as it seems, to survive. But first, let's learn how Greene's strategy of opening your mind to reality, not emotion, can turn any of your own spiral into a step forward. Stay tuned to find out what happens when John chooses curiosity over fury. Scene 3. The law of narcissism. Empathy from self-love. In the aftermath, John stands over the fallout of his rage. The dust settles. He's broken the code, yet he feels hollow. Ironically, our own narcissism can blind us to others, unless we rewrite it into empathy. Greene teaches that everyone feels worthy only by the attention they get. We're all a bit self-obsessed. John Wick was lost in grief, a form of narcissism, after his wife died. He focused inward on his loss, forgetting that others suffered too. But then Daisy came, and John's world shifted. Care for an innocent turned his anguish outward. He spared a bullet for anyone not deserving death. As the Medium article notes, he only kills criminals. He does not kill bystanders. He shows mercy. That capacity to care, taking in another being's pain, is empathy born from love. Greene suggests building empathy by assuming you know nothing, watching others' body language and mirroring their mood. John did this wordlessly. His fierce determination taught others kindness could win loyalty. His silent gift of life to Daisy, "Come, let's go home," was an act of empathy. It saved 2 lives, Daisy's, and in a way, his own. For you, listening more than speaking, looking beyond yourself, that's the path to healthy narcissism, Greene describes. The hook? Later, John's empathy circles back. His acts of mercy earn him unlikely allies, e.g. the Bowery King, nobody's help. But more on that in a bit. Scene 4. Role-playing. Masks and mastery. John slips into another character, the legendary Baba Yaga. But note, he is still always John. We all wear masks. Greene's law of role-playing reminds us, people reveal truth in gestures. John rarely speaks. He acts. In a famous scene, he tells Vigo, "Enough," and hangs up. That one word, enough shatters an entire monologue and Vigo's will. John Wick lets his actions do the talking. To survive, John must fit each occasion. A grieving husband, a relentless avenger, or a stoic killer. He shapes himself, smiles, glances, posture, to put others off balance. Greene urges us to be like the people you meet and manage impressions. John's suit, his silent intensity, they all craft an image of unshakable purpose. Meanwhile, he scans their faces, picking up threats and nervous tics. Watching John, you see the power of controlling your mask and reading others' masks. Scene 5. Compulsive behavior and charisma. Even hardened killers repeat patterns. Greene's next law says, the law of compulsive behavior. Good or bad, people sing the same old song. John learned this on the road. He picks his friends by their character. Marcus, John's mentor, and Winston, the Continental manager, stood by him through chaos, understanding loyalty beyond words. Others betrayed him at first sight. Greene advises, judge people by their deeds in adversity, not by the masks they wear. John's deep commitment to his mission, and those he loves, became legendary. The world respects him not for style, but for substance. Like gold, rare but invaluable. He adapts in each fight, learning and growing. That's why, even underwater or face down, he adapts. We too, by cultivating honesty and strength under pressure, find our own superior character. Scene 6. Covetousness, mystery and desire. From John's reappearance, the underworld sees him as something forbidden and precious. Greene's law of covetousness explains this. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. John becomes elusive. Too much of him would suffocate. A little, and killers crave more. The city's assassins whisper about him like folklore. John uses this aura. He never calls attention to himself when he doesn't need to. For you, this means never be too easy, or people will take you for granted. Instead, create a bit of mystery. Show people what they're missing. John's legend is fueled by what others are forbidden from having. Peace, a normal life. That strategic absence made them want him, alive or dead, all the more. Greene would nod. Use absence and presence wisely, and people will chase you. Scene 7. Short-sightedness, the long view. John always keeps his goal in sight. Get justice, then, maybe, walk away. He rarely veers off track. In the chaos, he sees the big picture. Greene warns, most people chase immediate thrills, the latest news, likes, or the next fight, losing the forest for the trees. Those people fall into the trap of short-sightedness. They'll tackle immediate battles while missing life's war, their long-term purpose. Unlike them, John is patient. He tactics. Sometimes he retreats to pick up a gun, or reload calmly between dozens of enemies. He is often on the run, but he never loses the thread of why he fights. Greene calls this an elevated perspective, a long-term vision that keeps you steady. For example, after each battle, John doesn't celebrate. He checks the door, sets up a safe route. You can see the calm in his eyes, knowing he's still one step ahead. The lesson: avoid friends who only chase the next high. Keep company with those who plan decades ahead. John would nod at Greene's advice. For any mission, assign someone, even yourself, to foresee consequences. He knows one wrong move could mean death. John has 439 kills to regret after all. Map your life beyond the next impulse. Scene 8. Defensiveness and self-sabotage. How does John handle people who think they know better? Winston put it plainly. You got out once. You dipped so much as a pinky back into this pond. Something reaches out, drags you back into its depths. Winston recognized that John was defensive. He refused orders, making him seem unpredictable. Greene's law of defensiveness says, when people feel criticized, they shut down. Winston's approach was to frame change as John's own idea, letting John feel in control, not attacked. John also battles his own dark thoughts. The law of self-sabotage teaches that negativity breeds failure. When John could have given up, wounded and burned, alone on a beach in 3, he didn't. He played that video from his wife and chose life, dragging himself back into the fight. Greene emphasizes cultivating a positive, expansive attitude. John's survival and the rebirth of hope through a new puppy demonstrates that attitude can save us. Scene 9. Conformity versus authenticity. In the Continental's halls, John seems alone, even among friends. Greene's law of conformity warns how easily we mimic crowds. John refuses to wear the conventions of typical society. At the same time, he fits in among assassins by respecting their code, enough to survive, but not so much to lose himself. When the adjudicator demands control, Winston replies, "We are New York. Community, trust, loyalty." A rallying cry that even the legend John Wick is part of a larger family. We watch John. He doesn't just follow trends. He wears an old red shirt, against Continental rules, to remind himself of humanity. He won't be defined by the high table's whims. Instead, he creates a personal code. For you, the message is clear. Listen more to your own compass, and less to the everyone's doing it crowd. Scene 10. Ambition and consequences. Every triumph for John spills more blood. Each kill has a cost, personal and collective. Every leader faces fickleness. As soon as you rise, your choices become a target. John feels that reality acutely. He wants peace, but his world won't stop. The law of consequence, an underlying theme of the films, reminds us that choices beget outcomes. At the climax, Winston forces John to choose how to die. The boogeyman legend, or as a man who loved and was loved by his wife. John's journey wasn't about killing, but finding humanity. That is the payoff. You fight for reveals who you are. The urgency of purpose. The screen fades to black. In silence, John Wick walks towards dawn, and so do you. This saga shows why life's brevity fuels purpose. Greene's final law teaches to keep death in mind. It make your life more productive and meaningful. John Wick fought deadly rules and found a shred of meaning. Now the real world beckons. Our generation craves purpose. 90% of Gen Z and millennials agree, yet it often feels just out of reach. The story you've witnessed isn't just fiction. It's a reflection of every inner battle you face. As John Wick's smoky silhouette drifts through the alley, remember that life is fragile. Let that urgency remind you of what matters. Purpose, love, honor. Use the laws you've seen. Resist mindless rage, foster empathy, control your story, and charge forward like John did. Relentlessly, honestly, meaningfully. By blending John Wick's gritty tale with Greene's wisdom, this cinematic journey equips you to master your own nature. Stay vigilant, stay purposeful, and never underestimate the power of a single driven soul. Life is short and uncertain. We must dedicate every moment to what truly matters.